Welcome to the Deep. This is where we take your sources, really dig in, and pull out the most important insights and, well, sometimes surprising facts.
Exactly.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into the recent, very sad news surrounding the actor Julian McMahon. He's passed away.
Yeah, it's really resonated with a lot of people, this news.
It has. And our source for this is a pretty comprehensive article from People magazine, published July 4th, 2025. So our mission here is basically to unpack the details, his life, his career, the circumstances of his passing, pull out the key facts.
And what's interesting, I think, with this particular source is how it does more than just report the facts. It gives you a glimpse into his personal impact, his legacy,
Mm-hmm.
and directly from those closest to him, which is quite powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with the core news itself. Julian McMahon passed away. He was 56.
That's right. The article confirms he died peacefully. It was Wednesday, July 2nd, down in Clearwater, Florida. And it mentions this is after a private battle with cancer. His wife, Kelly, she confirmed this in a statement to Deadline, which people reported on. That was on Friday, July 4th.
Right, and Kelly's statement, wow, it's quoted in the article, and it's really something. She said, "With an open heart, I wish to share with the world that my beloved husband, Julian McMahon, died peacefully this week after a valiant effort to overcome cancer."
Yeah, that phrasing, valiant effort, it really hits home.
It does.
And what also really stood out to me from her words was how she described him. She said Julian loved life, he loved his family, he loved his friends, he loved his work, and he loved his fans.
That covers, well, everything, doesn't it?
Pretty much. And then this part. His deepest wish was to bring joy into as many lives as possible. I mean, that's quite a sentiment to share.
It really is a guiding principle.
And she asked for privacy, naturally, but also hoped that anyone who found joy through Julian would continue to find joy in life. And she expressed gratitude for the memories. It felt very brief.
Yeah. It kind of sets the frame, doesn't it? This idea of bringing joy. Okay, so let's pivot to his career then, because that's where so many people connected with him. That desire to bring joy, as Kelly mentioned, you can sort of see it reflected in the range of his work. He was such a familiar face for so long. What does the People article pull out as the sort of the big roles?
Well, he definitely left a mark. The article, it really highlights Dr. Christian Troy, Nip Tuck.
Oh yeah, iconic.
Totally. That Ryan Murphy show, it ran from 2003 to 2010, really pushed some boundaries.
It certainly did.
But even before that, a lot of people will know him instantly as Cole Turner on Charmed.
Right. Phoebe's love interest. Very complicated character there.
Exactly. He was on that from 2000 to 2005. And then more recently, he was the lead on that CBS crime show, FBI Most Wanted.
Ah, yes. He played Jess LaCroix.
That's the one. He actually announced he was leaving that show back in January 2022. And the article, it includes his statement from back then.
Oh, interesting. What did he say?
It was very gracious. He said he was extremely proud of the work we have done together and put developing the show and his character Jess at the top of my professional experience list. Wish them all the best. Said he was grateful to have played Jess, called him a good man.
Classy exit.
Seems like it. And his final TV role, according to the source, was on a Netflix show called The Residents. But that one, unfortunately, got canceled after just one season.
Right, I think I heard about that. Okay, so that covers a lot of major TV. But he was also on the big screen, and in some pretty memorable ways.
Oh, absolutely. For movie fans, especially superhero movie fans.
He's Dr. Doom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Victor Von Doom in the Fantastic Four movies. He was in the first one in 2005, and then the sequel, Rise of the Silver Surfer, in 2007.
Yeah, he was a great villain. Really commanded the screen in that role.
Definitely had that presence. And maybe the most poignant detail the article notes is about his final public appearance.
Oh.
Yeah, it was apparently just a few months back, March 10th, 2025, down in Austin, Texas, for the SXSW Festival.
Okay. What was he there for?
For his movie The Surfer. He was there with his co-star, Nicolas Cage.
Wow. So right up near the end, he was still out there, promoting his work, engaging with it.
Seems that way.
Yeah.
Still part of the process, sharing his work.
It really ties back to what his wife said about loving his work, doesn't it?
It really does.
So thinking about that wish, to bring joy, it makes you want to understand a bit more about the man himself beyond the roles. Who was Julian McMahon? The People article, does it give us some insight into his personal life, his background?
It does offer some interesting context. For instance, it mentions his father.
Oh, yeah.
His father was Sir William McMahon, who was actually a former Prime Minister of Australia.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
quite a background.
Yeah, it adds a layer, doesn't it? Hints at maybe a life lived somewhat in the public eye, even before acting.
Sure, must have.
The article also touches on his relationships, mentions he was previously married to the Australian singer Danny Minogue,
Right, I remember that.
and also to the actress Brooke Burns from Baywatch.
Okay.
And then, of course, it mentions his marriage to Kelly Paniagua in 2014. She's the one who shared the news, as we discussed.
Yeah.
And it notes he has a daughter, Madison Elizabeth McMahon, who's 25 now. She's his daughter with his ex-wife, Brooke Burns.
So you see this picture emerge, the son of a prime minister, navigating his own path in a very public career, building his own family.
Exactly. And it kind of grounds that statement from Kelly, doesn't it? Loving his family, loving life. It feels very real when you have some of that personal context.
Yeah, it makes the public figure seem much more, well, human. You see the threads connecting the career, the family, even that last public appearance. It all seems core wish his wife shared.
Absolutely. It makes you think about how we perceive public figures. We see the roles, the red carpets, but there's always this whole other life informing it all. And her words about bringing joy, they seem less like a PR statement and more like a genuine reflection of his values.
Right, it feels authentic. So I guess wrapping this part up, this deep dive into the People article, it paints a picture of Julian McMahon as, yes, a dedicated actor, versatile even.
Yeah, from charming rogue to intense surgeon to supervillain.
Right. But also, maybe more importantly, as his wife put it, someone who just profoundly loved life and really wanted to share joy.
And thinking bigger picture for a moment, his story really underlines how an artist's work, that joy they bring, it doesn't just vanish when they're gone. It lives on in the memories, the feelings, the connections we made watching them, whether it was intense drama or, superhero action.
That's a really nice thought, that resonance. Okay, so a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on. As you reflect on all those different roles Julian McMahon played, Dr. Troy, Cole Turner, Victor Von Doom, Jessel, knowing about his personal desire to bring joy, maybe reshape how you see both, on screen and maybe off screen, consider